I had never heard of the small one, and it's unusual that a kind of Christmas themed Disney film would go past my radar, so I feel a little bit awkward that I hadn't heard of it. But surprisingly, it's only got 1.7 thousand reviews and ratings on IMDb, which sounds like a lot, but for a Disney film, it's not that many. This was released in 1978, and it's directed by Don Bluth, and the narrative is very sweet. And I'm wondering if the narrative is maybe one of the reasons why it's not as well known, because it's not as well, it's not as festive as some other Christmas themed films, and it's not actually Christmas themed on the face of it. But once you learn a little bit more about the outcome, you'll realise why. But I won't say any more than that, and I don't want to spoil what happens. I will read a bit of the description from IMDb, but I advise you not to read it all, because I think it spoils a little bit of it. But a spoiler-free section says, ordered by his father to sell his old small donkey named Small One, a Hebrew boy in ancient Israel takes the donkey to the Jerusalem market, finding no buyers there, ... And it's quite a moving story, because this boy has to sell this donkey because the donkey still has to eat as much as the other donkeys, but it's not pulling its weight. So this boy's father orders him to sell this donkey. He clearly has a bond with this donkey and doesn't want to sell him. Most certainly he doesn't want to sell him to just anybody. But of course his father needs the money. And over about 20 minutes or so, we see him trying to sell this donkey, battling with the emotions that come with that. And it is moving, and it's very sweet, and I imagine it's a position that a lot of people have been in, certainly over the decades or centuries, where animals were, sold and traded much more frequently, but you would bond with them because you're spending an awful lot of time with them. And Small One as a donkey is very cute. He's very beautifully animated, he's very sweet, he's a little rough around the edges, and that just makes him rather charming. It is well animated, of course. It does feel like a Disney film in terms of the animation. And the boy is a really interesting character as well. I believe he is just called Boy. I don't think I missed it. I don't think he has a name, but please correct me if I'm wrong on that. He's certainly a very likable character, and you want the best for him. You don't really want him to get rid of the donkey, but if he has to sell the donkey, who is he going to sell it to? Really sweet. If you're a fan of Disney, or of cute, fun, slightly emotional animation, it's absolutely worth watching. So a spoiler from now. I'm about to spoil what happens. The fact that he sells the donkey to a man named Joseph, who's getting the donkey for his wife in Jerusalem. It's the donkey that carried Mary to the stable before the birth of Christ. I love that. I think that's such a sweet story. I don't think I've ever heard of any version of the Nativity where they buy the donkey from a small boy. I also don't think that Small One would be adequate to carry a very heavily pregnant woman. If he really is as small and not able to carry his weight as much as the other donkeys, I don't think it was the best purchase. But at the same time, Joseph didn't have a lot of money. Maybe Small One had a much bigger fate. Something much more important as carrying the Virgin Mary. I love it. I just thought that was such a beautiful surprise, and I didn't see it coming. And that's why I strongly urge you not to read the description on IMDb, but of course, I have just ruined it now. Really lovely. It's not going to become an annual favourite for me. It's not one of those films I will watch again and again, and I think maybe that's why it slipped by my radar with regards to it being a Disney holiday film, because I don't see it as being one that people will watch routinely. It doesn't have as mass appeal as, say, Mickey Mouse. Let's be honest about this. Which is weird, but Mickey Mouse is brilliant. But it's certainly very moving, it's very sweet, very well written. The characters are very well written. The animation is beautiful. If you like Disney or sweet narratives, The Small One is absolutely one I recommend.